Wait, let me turn the light on. Oh my gosh. There you go. There you go. Hi. Hi. Hello Frostbite, hello Keysmurf, and hello Shadow Paladin. How are you all doing today? Today we are going to be doing some more reaction to scary videos. I had a lot of fun doing scary videos yesterday, so I want to do some more. Yeah, I'm not gonna be using the chibi model today. I feel like I should go back to the old. But then again, when I say go back to the old, I mean like the ones I actually commissioned and not like use customizable models, I guess. I don't know, I like these customizable models. In fact, this model right here got an update. I saw it. I didn't have time to do it because I spent like all the afternoon, honestly, just making thumbnails for the videos. I think I got 2 videos that are supposed to be done tomorrow. So I'm gonna be uploading 1 video tomorrow. I did scrap the scary children's drawings because when I was looking over the footage, I saw like at the beginning message saying that Mr. Nightmare wasn't a big fan of people re-uploading his work unless like we letting him know. So I'm like, instead of going against his wishes, I'm just not gonna upload it. So I ended up deleting it. So, but hey, I showed you who it's from, right? Mr. Nightmare. Okay, Mr. Nightmare, go follow him and stuff like that. Yeah, then you can watch the video yourself. You don't have to watch it through me. But we are still going to be watching scary videos, other ones. So let me actually pull those up because I do have some saved right here. Yeah, I do want to respect other creators' wishes. I know for a fact, like, if I had videos and then I didn't want someone to react to them, I would say like, kindly please do not do that. And I would graciously hope that they would respect that. So why don't I do the same? Am I right? Am I right or am I right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I found two videos that I kind of want to watch. That I kind of want to watch. There's one called Charlie Boy 22, YouTube's most dangerous channel. But there's also one called 6 Disturbing Unsolved Cases with Video Footage. So I really want to watch those 2 today. Before moving on to anything else. Hello Max, how are you? How are you doing? Hold up, let me resize. Okay. Let's do the Charlie Boy video is shorter, so I'm gonna do that one.
The year was 2013. A boy by the name of Melvin.
Stop. Okay, there we go. Stop!
A boy.
Not yet. The video isn't ready to start yet. Okay. Here we go. Window capture. Chrome. There we go. Okay. And of course, we are going to be recording for YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hi. Where's the chat box? There you go. I don't want to make it too big. Put you right there in the corner. No, are you scared? I'll put you next to me if you get too scared. Nah. You're all big kids. You're all big kids now. You don't need me protecting you. Okay, ready, okay. Okay, 3, 2, and go. Hello, YouTube. Welcome. Today we are watching a video called Charlie Boy 22, YouTube's most dangerous channel, by Raymundo 2112 and Sizitix. I very much apologize for butchering that name, but yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's go.
The year was 2013. A boy by the name of Melvin Jr. was reported missing after his family didn't hear from him after going to school. After months of searching, the police ruled it a mystery. That was until a disturbing new piece of evidence was found. On the day of the boy's disappearance, his mother found a very strange note taped to their shower wall. Initially, she thought it was just the work of her son, but still posted it online. After posting her findings, small corners of the internet investigated this note and missing persons case and determined that it could be linked back to a seemingly—
I know, it's going crazy when it reaches 4chan. Okay, being on Reddit is one thing, but it goes crazy when it's on 4chan. It's very serious, and a matter to be taken very seriously. It's on 4chan. No, I'm kidding. Any missing persons case is serious. Just ignore me. I'm feeling like kind of edgy today. I don't know why. I don't know if there's something in the water or something, but I'm feeling like pretty edgy today.
innocent YouTube channel. Likely story, huh? I'm skeptical too, which is why in today's video, we will be delving into the true story of Charlie Boy 22. Throughout YouTube's 20 plus years of existence, many strange and concerning channels have been created, some of them garnering widespread attention, most just being forgotten. An excellent example of the latter is the notorious Charlie Boy 22. Despite conversations surrounding the topic becoming more widespread in recent times thanks to the Cystix video on the topic, what people are discussing isn't the full story. This topic is such a deep rabbit hole, and after weeks of extensive research, I believe I've uncovered the truth around this mysterious YouTube channel. But before we delve into the deep end, let's first establish what the hell Charlie Boy 22—
Oh man, so they're basically dragging Charlie Brown's name in the dirt? Oh no, come on. Charlie Brown wasn't that bad of a show. I mean, I didn't watch the Charlie Brown movie, but I don't know. I liked Charlie Brown as a kid.
even was. The YouTube of the early 2010s was very different from what we know now. The algorithm retention-based monetary system was years away, which led the general YouTube experience to be very—
oh my gosh, it's Ray
different.
William
Back in the
Johnson!
day, it was consistently pretty easy to stumble across what was known as the weird side of YouTube. A consistent little trick in YouTube's algorithm that effectively opened up a whole new side of the platform. Instead of kooky viral videos you'd see on the front page, the weird side consistently led you through hundreds of strange art projects, freaky commercials, fetish material, violent animations, and videos that were just straight up hard to describe. This is where one could find the channel of today's focus. Charlie Boy 20—
I am so glad I'm living on YouTube in 2026. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing the internet was still very hard to get a hold of back when YouTube was born. I think I was like 8 or 9 or something like that. I don't remember what year YouTube came out. Was that like 2008 or 2009 or something? I was still an itty bitty baby. It was kind of hard to get a hold of the internet in my house, so thank God I'm not part of that. I didn't become full on YouTube internet until I was like in my teens, because we were pretty like strict when it came to like computers and like the internet and stuff. My mom didn't really like it very much, so yeah. Just like my access to interesting cartoons, my access to the internet was also very limited.
22 was exactly what you'd expect from the weird side of YouTube. The channel featured strange, artsy videos with a dark interpretation of the Peanuts characters, the budget and production quality of these videos varying heavily. In 2013, an event which will be discussed shortly caused the channel to be deleted with no warning, taking every single—
Hey freak, what are you doing here? Are you at work still? How are you doing? How are you?
video, comment, and crucial piece of evidence with it. A couple of these videos have been archived, as they were the most popular and notorious ones. However, what you can see on YouTube
what they
is
doing
not
to
all this channel
Lucy?
provided. Charlie Boy 22, when it wasn't producing such nightmare fuel, uploaded your standard YouTube fare with an unnerving twist. The channel uploaded AMA/storytime videos, video game reviews, as well as a Draw My Life. Despite the content of this channel sounding pretty normal, the actual material of these videos was anything but. At first, it was pretty simple. Charlie Boy, a man wearing an eerie, homemade Charlie Brown costume, talked to the camera about basic relatable things like pencil biting, football, and peanut butter sandwiches. But as these videos went on, the subject matter became much darker. For example, in the video...
Of course, it's always going to turn darker. Nothing on the internet ever stays positive. You could be talking about sunshine and rainbows for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden, everything goes downhill, and you're suddenly talking about edgy stuff that I'm probably not allowed to mention on YouTube. I'm trying to stay family friendly until I get monetized. And even then, I'll probably say the same. I mean, I already don't swear, or very rarely swear, you know. My work, but I'm really upset right now. Oh no. Is it a frustrating day at work kind of thing? I hope things get better there, Game Freak. If you want to talk, you let me know. You let me know later.
Charlie Boy rants, he's seen maniacally raving about his rage towards a certain Lucy. Whether this was a reference to the Peanuts character or to someone in his life is unknown.
And she does it again. She does it again. Every fucking time. She stole it straight away from me.
The Draw My Life wasn't much better, with it seeming to be a very angry and disturbed depiction of his life. The story he shared barely being understandable, thanks to the poor microphone quality.
Then, if I didn't treat my well, when I was 80, I was not...
No, I used to enjoy Draw My Lives. I remember back then when Draw My Lives were actually like pretty popular for like big YouTubers to do. And honestly, I forgot about them after a while. And now I'm kind of spraying them off of them altogether. I don't know, would you guys like me to do a Draw My Life one day?
But I can't imagine it was anything good. Many of the videos urged people to comment their addresses so he could send special letters to his fans. Some surviving footage exists of people with their often incredibly odd letters from Charlie Boy, most of them being children, obviously. The letter varied heavily, with some having surprisingly cute depictions of Peanut characters, some of them seemingly being copy-pasted images with the receiver's name being the only different factor, and some being off-putting to say the least. A couple of old videos and forum post show notes that honestly resemble something out of Slender the 8 Pages. Something Charlie Boy very frequently mentioned in his videos was the elusive iPod Touch giveaway. Said giveaway likely being what earned him over 10,000 subscribers, which for a news channel in the early 2010s was very important.
The giveaway scam. It was a big thing. It was a big scam on the internet thing. I'm like, and it wasn't just on YouTube, it was like Facebook too. I remember almost falling for that once, where and those like ads on the internet too, where they're like free phone, click here for a free phone kind of thing, you know. So and that was to like garner attention for their stuff.
Impressive. As the channel grew, so did the production quality. The most popular and notable upload being You're Too Late, Charlie Brown. The video was visually captivating, combining in real-life footage, claymation, and digital backgrounds. The video starts off with Charlie Brown being given a letter from Lucy, inviting him to a special dinner. After arriving at Lucy's house, Charlie takes a seat on the table while Lucy places a cloche in front of him. He curiously reaches his hand towards it, but gets angrily slapped away by Lucy, as she leaves to grab one more thing. Charlie removes the cloche, only to be met with a bloody human heart. When Lucy returns, she's armed with a bloody kitchen knife. Confused, Charlie asks for the whereabouts of his friend Linus. She responds with this.
We haven't even gotten to the main course.
Linus? After Charlie threatens to leave, Lucy reveals the decapitated head of Linus and...
Okay, I know I said earlier I was feeling kind of edgy, but this kind of takes the cake. Scratch that. I'm not feeling edgy at all today. I'm feeling like some kind of freaking Disney princess. It's not that, you know, that Neverness to Everness came out a while ago. I was trying to get the Hotori skin, but I didn't. I even spent money on it and still didn't get her skin. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know how that feels, Game Freak. I know how that feels. I made the mistake one time of spending money on Honkai Star Rail for a character. I don't even remember who was on the banner. I lost the first 50-50 I spent money expecting to get her again, only to lose the 50-50 again. And after that, I never spent money on Star Rail ever again. But yeah, I can definitely understand why you'd be upset over something like that. But Neverness to Everness? What kind of game is that? I don't think I've ever heard of that game before.
Forcefully shoves it down his throat. The ending shots revealing his dislocated jaw and then skeletal remains as a slowed version of the Peanuts theme plays. This video is often what showed up on the weird side of YouTube and brought people to the channel, being the channel's most popular upload at the time. The following videos continued this graphic trend, a notable example being Charlie Drown, a video depicting a man in a dark body of water trying to swim away from Charlie Boy. As he approaches, he grabs the man, forcing him deeper into the water. The rest of the video depicts the man's slow and agonizing death, and after a shot of his lifeless body sinking to the bottom of the water, Charlie Boy swims to the surface, the entire video's only audio being that of a creepy angel-like choir. Charlie Boy uploaded his final video on June 7th, 2013, officially announcing the iPod giveaway. Hundreds of comments flooded in, most of them being children posting their home addresses and full names. One of these children was the late Melvin.
Oh my gosh, this is why you must supervise what your children are doing online. Okay? Children are dumb enough to put in their name and their first name, last name, and full addresses on the internet, thinking they're gonna win like a free iPod or something. No, please supervise your children.
Jr. His disappearance shocked the local community. It didn't make sense. He didn't seem like the type of kid to run away, but there was nothing that could be done. The investigation lasted months with no leads or information being discovered. However, a crucial piece of evidence was revealed when online sleuths found the boy's YouTube channel, displaying the iPod Touch that he was sent by Charlie Boy 22.
Oh my god, it was legit.
People investigating this into a frenzy, suggesting that Charlie Boy was able to use the Find My feature and track down the child. From what I can find, this theory first started being discussed on 4chan's paranormal board X. The original thread is lost to time, but some screenshots of it can be found if you dig deep enough. Soon, discussion spread to other platforms, being heavily signal boosted by a now deleted episode of InfoWars. Despite never garnering any mainstream attention, the case eventually even spread to some Facebook.
Wait. Isn't that the conspiracy, the big conspiracy theory guy? Sometimes when I'm watching clips, like, he shows up and is like spouting conspiracy theory stuff. I've never actually like watched his stuff before, but is this the guy or is it just someone that looks like him? I'm not sure.
Despite never garnering any mainstream attention, the case eventually even spread to some Facebook rumors, and a couple of YouTube videos were made exposing the conspiracy. All of these threads and these videos have since been deleted, with only fragments existing online, making a definitive timeline incredibly difficult. Despite sounding extraordinarily outlandish to many, people clinged on to this theory, because, simply put, reality is often stranger than fiction. Most of this discussion was just hearsay, but when a video was unearthed, uploaded by Melvin's mother, the discussion was reignited, with people taking this video as definitive proof of the prior theory. The video was simple but striking. It featured the OP showing off an extremely disturbing note in their bathroom reading, "Found you," in messy handwriting, alongside a printed out photograph of a Lucy plush laying in a puddle of blood. Interestingly enough, this very same Lucy photograph can be found in an old Charlie Boy 22 video titled "Showing Off My Charlie Boy 22 Photos." This connection is very strange to say the least, and reignited conversation around the topic. But just like that, after discussion picked
How insane does the guy gotta be to, like, you're obviously incriminating yourself. Some people are just insane.
up, the topic effectively became shadow banned, with threads and videos discussing the theories being deleted within hours of posting. You might watch this and think Charlie Boy 22 was definitively guilty and involved with these crimes, and I don't blame you for thinking that. However, I haven't been entirely transparent with you. When I was a kid, I found myself on the weird side of YouTube pretty frequently, if you couldn't tell. Around 2012, I stumbled across the Charlie Boy 22 Draw My Life video after watching a disturbing animation by the name of Bring Me the Head of Charlie Brown. I was obsessed with Draw My Life videos, wanting to make one of my own someday, so the strange and creepy iteration of this classic format captivated me. From there, I was a loyal subscriber of Charlie Boy 22. It freaked me out, but I just couldn't look away. His video, Q&A plus giveaway, was the first time Charlie Boy started offering the letters. And as a stupid kid who didn't know any better, I commented my address. I was obsessed with getting noticed by my favorite YouTubers. I constantly asked for giveaways, shoutouts, and even sent fan mail to that one MLP unboxing channel, Bin's Toy Bin, for those who know. So the concept of getting a personalized note from this eerie peanut was deeply alluring. And we're gonna look through this note after the sponsor. This video is brought to you by Factor. This is a good one. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, fresh crafted meals directly to your doorstep.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
ready
just
to
gonna
eat in just
go
incredibly artificial
zip.
Within this out weeks, I received a whole year. So thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video.
Yes, thank you to
Within a matter of weeks, I
Factor for
received my letter,
sponsoring this
and it
video.
was shockingly normal. Here, check this out.
So this right here is the very letter that I received so many years ago from Charlie Boy 22. It's insane to look at this now, knowing everything that we do, but at the time I really didn't think much of it. I want to be clear that I was never like friends with Charlie Boy.
Okay, so this is insane. He actually put his address in this guy's comments, and it wasn't a scam at all. He actually got a letter. Oh, yeah, creepy.
I would comment sometimes, but I never like interacted one-on-one with the guy. The only thing that's really notable is this little drawing, which is a little cute, it's a little creepy. I don't know, this is a very strange possession of mine, to say the very least. This has been sitting in like a cabinet for so long, and I'm honestly shocked that I still have it. It's something I'm never gonna get rid of. This is a piece of history right here, but
History.
yeah, I don't know. I feel very conflicted about it. When I was a kid, I was really excited about it. You know, if the theories that everyone has about Charlie Boy are true, then this takes on such a sinister feeling to it. I don't know how I feel about that.
Now, a lot of the footage that you've seen so far can't be found elsewhere, and to my knowledge, no longer exists on the internet. But I'm incredibly happy to say that I backed up a couple of these videos when I was a kid. The advent of YouTube to MP4 struck me as the most divine feature of all, so I went on a downloading.
It still does to me today. You have no idea how much I use. Well, I usually use it more for music, so I use YouTube to MP3 converter. I don't really use MP4 very much because it takes up way too much space on my phone or my computer. But I'll be honest, this is a godsend.
Spree of all my favorite videos. On this old hard drive, I have a few of the lost Charlie Boy videos, including what might be the most disturbing.
Hey, I have that one too! I have that exact hard drive!
One. This Charlie Boy video is different from the rest. It's showing a woman seemingly being stalked and chased by Charlie Boy. From the way the girl screams, this video doesn't seem like it's staged. And for that reason, I'm going to be blurring the girl's face. And alongside that, I will not be playing the audio. However, when we look around their surroundings, it appears as though they're in New York, which actually lines up with something that we'll be taking a look at later. I'm pretty familiar with this city, so I ended up visiting the place that this reminded me of, and to my amazement, it's a match. This is genuinely a huge discovery considering the fact that the disappearance of Melvin Jr. took place in New York City. This leads me to a childhood experience of mine that has baffled me. When I was a kid, I didn't have a smartphone. I had a flip phone and a flip camera. This very camera.
I never got flip phone. My very first phone was a BlackBerry. It was like one of those small BlackBerry phones. Don't trust me, I wanted a flip phone like really badly, but I was too young, and by the time I was old enough to have a phone, it was a BlackBerry, so I really couldn't get one.
I've been using since 2011, and surprisingly it still works to this day. In 2024, I started using the camera to record promotional material for my band Polybius, so I exported all the childhood footage onto my computer to make room. In this process, I rediscovered a video that in the moment carried no significance, but after doing this research, this footage possibly takes on a much more sinister turn. The footage in question was taken on Halloween of 2013, after I found what I thought to be a person dressing up eerily similar to Charlie Boy 22. At the time, I had no idea that this person resided in my home city, but in retrospect, I wonder, was that him? Was this the man behind the channel?
Well,
I mean, it's a little convenient. One, you sent him your address so he would send you a letter. Two, he's wearing a Charlie Brown suit. So yeah, I would be very, 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 very surprised if this wasn't the Charlie Boy 22 guy.
look at that creepy Charlie Brown guy. He kind of looks like the one from YouTube. Mama, look.
I honestly feel like it's not certain enough to say, but it sure does seem like it. But still, take this information with a grain of salt. Now, there's one more piece of information that I'm still yet to share with you. I was one of the children who won the iPod giveaway, and believe it or not, I actually still have it.
No
And it still
way.
works. Allow me to show you what was on it. So this right here is my iPod from Charlie Boy 22. As you can see, this is the photo that came with. I remember when I first got it, it was linked up to a separate iCloud, but as a kid, I switched it to like my mom's, which I wish there was a way I could find the original iCloud that would give me so much more information and possibly give me a way to contact Charlie Boy.
This guy's freaking insane. Wow.
But it had all my apps on it, you know.
Talking Tom! Oh my gosh. Talking Tom. Oh my god, that is such a freaking throwback. And the, oh my gosh, the beer app. Oh my god. In the very, very early iPod times, there was this app, like the beer app, where you could literally download different types of alcohol and you could tip your phone and it would make swallowing sounds that it made you look like you were drinking alcohol, like different kinds of alcohol or drinks in general. Oh my god, this is such a freaking throwback. Talking Tom. What was that? Talking Friends or something? In the beer. Oh my gosh. Why is this such a positive throwback for me? I remember playing Pocket God a long while. Pocket God. I never heard about that one before. How you doing, Dimensional Curse? How are you? How are you?
I think it came with these two Snoopy games pre-installed, if my memory serves me right. Some real classics here from the App Store.
Click on the messages. Click on the messages. And the music. I want to see what's in the music. And the videos. I want to see what's in the videos.
Got Lightsaber, PVC, Angry...
OG Angry Birds. OG Angry Birds. And I don't think I recognize these other. Oh wait. There's Plants vs Zombies. I see Plants vs Zombies.
Birds, epic boobs, because I guess I was a perverted 10-year-old. There's nothing too crazy about it. There was a note, I believe, right here. This is the most like custom Charlie Boy thing. It's very, very interesting. I don't know how my mom didn't...
I want to read it. Let's say, hello, Ray Movie Man. It's your pal Charlie Boy. Thank you so much for being a loyal fan. Hope you quote unquote enjoy this iPod. Eee. Pocket God is basically you causing mayhem on an island, like you could set off a volcano or feed the natives to sharks. Oh my goodness. That is a game I do not really plan to play.
Thing. It's very, very interesting. I don't know how my mom didn't like question this heavily. Yeah, I had to put a Rainbow Dash sticker on it. Yeah, this is the original, real Charlie Boy 22 iPod Touch. I almost feel a weird sense of survivor's guilt, having now put the pieces together. I'd almost completely forgotten about this entire story until the Cystic video came out and reignited the conversation. His video was really well made and even spawned some fan art of Charlie Boy, which is interesting to say the least. Some very notable information shared by Cystix.
How come this creepy guy gets fan art and I barely get any? Makes me sad.
An archive channel by the name of CB22 Archive. This channel being the only place where you can find any Charlie Boy re-uploads on YouTube. While Cystix was working on his video, CB22 Archive reached out to him, offering help with the video. However, this message also asked Cystix to provide him with his address so they could send over old Charlie Boy letters, as the LP was a fan of the channel back when it was around. Cystix postures a theory that CB22 Archive isn't actually an old fan, but instead is actually Charlie Boy himself trying to make a return to the internet. He urges viewers not to reach out to the account in fear that this is indeed the notorious figure, as it could put them in harm. CB22 Archive has been around since October 9th, 2024, which is interesting. If you check the CB22 Archive channel, you won't find much. The channel has re-uploads of some of the videos that we discussed earlier, alongside a more recent video named Requiem, which released months after the Cystix video, which features the Charlie Boy mask floating in a pool of water, with what seems to be an unedited/alternate version of the song from Charlie Drown. Looking further into the channel, you'll find a community post reading, "The Cystix video is 100% misinformation. I have nothing to do with Charlie Boy 22, aside from re-uploading his content. This channel was recreated because the old one got its content restricted after uploading the claymation. Don't believe everything you read online." This is what you'd expect for someone getting potentially false allegations thrown their way. But there is some information that leads people to believe that Cystix and CB22 are one and the same. Strap in, because this theory is kind of insane. Some people are of the belief that Sistix is just playing both sides Palpatine style. This theory is supported by the fact that he has footage of the video of Charlie Boy chasing the women in Brooklyn, which is not on the archive channel, so where did he get it? Some people are crazy enough to believe that Sistix is Charlie Boy 22 and has crafted a channel around spooky but ultimately fictional topics like annoying talking orange, chipmunks lore, and spooky iCarly flash games, to distract from the fact that he is responsible for something that is actually sinister, his other content lulling people into a false sense of security. But like, come on. You may or may not know this, but Sistix and I are actually good friends. While I was interviewing him for the annoying talking orange video, I realized—
I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because, like, literally in this video, like, at the bottom, when I was shouting out the creator of this video, it literally showed the guy's name, so, yeah, it kind of disproves that theory right out of the gate.
that he also lives in the city not too far from me, and we've been hanging out since. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice that he did camera work for a few of my videos, like the Radioactive Chicken Heads video and the Derpygate video. So, you know, I decided that I'd reach out to him directly and get some clarification on all these theories. Interestingly enough, he only wanted to discuss it in person, so, you know, we're going out for a little adventure, a little
He asked for your email and offered you a free iPod Touch. Ooh.
in-person interview. So, come along with me. Let's do this thing.
So I'm now on the way to go meet up with my dear friend Sistix. I think it's a bit weird because the location that he gave me is this basement, like residential looking place. I don't know what that's about. I think it's probably like a bar or a speakeasy or something along those lines. Made it to the beautiful Barclays Center out here. Actually very close to the place. I shaved to give
I'm
myself
calling it
like
This
the
Is a Skit.
Dopes Dexter. I've never seen the show, but the reaction to it was great. Give that sort of look, but my face is so cold. And it also looks stupid. So excuse that. Anything for the bit, you know? So, I think it's actually across the block. See you guys in there. Okay, I'm here. So, I have no idea what to expect. I don't need this anymore. But, yeah, we'll see what
I'm
happens.
calling it right now. This is some kind of
Alright.
skit.
What's up, buddy? Let's do this thing.
Aha! I told you.
There's no way.
So you found me.
Jesus Christ, Sistix. Jesus fucking Christ. You're Charlie Boy.
I really hate that name.
Jesus Christ, man.
You said that.
How is this possible? Why would you do any of this?
What can I say? The theorists were right about me. I'd never held it against them. I don't now.
My buddies thought I was crazy for becoming an investigative YouTuber. I had skills. I could have gone to college.
Could have gotten
Lately,
to
I'm starting to
college.
think that they were right. But this makes it all worth it.
I'm happy for you.
Shut the fuck up. Let's get this over with. Put them on.
What is that? Handcuffs?
Sistix, you're done. Give it up.
Would you? In my position?
Wouldn't be in your position, you sick fuck.
You sure about that? You might want to check with Lucy. Hey, you shoot me now. Who will prove your innocence?
Maybe I'll just kneecap you.
See, I knew this was a bit. I knew this was a bit.
Alright. Nice and slow.
Just following your lead.
Back the fuck up, man. Slow down. It's over, Sistix. I have the high ground.
And I have the gun.
Don't try it.
Oh no. What does it say? It's the note. It's the note that was sent. Wait. Let me guess. There's a plot twist. The final plot twist. None of this is real, and it was just one big like meme video.
Thank you to the people over at Patreon that make videos like this possible. Shout out to Ditzy, Booty Goblin, very interesting username, John Grob, the Mila Experience.
Oh man, I was kind of hoping for that to be it. I was kind of hoping for that to be the kind of thing. But very interesting video on Charlie Boy 22. Thank you again so much, everybody, for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. There you go. Yay! Let's go into the next video I have today. Ah, scared me. Huh?
I hope you're having a wonderful time tonight. Also, what's the plan for tonight?
Thank you, Chimeric Overload. How are you? How are you? Boop your snoot. Boop your snoot before you leave. What's the plan for tonight? We're going to be reacting to more scary videos, and we're going to be doing them for YouTube. YouTube. We just finished one. I think I have like 2 videos saved. It was that Charlie Boy one, and then this next one, which I will introduce soon.
On the 11th of May 2011, 6-year-old Timothy
Come on,
Pitson left
pause.
school in Aurora, Illinois with his
Pause.
mother, Amy.
Pause. There you go. Might not want to boop my snoot. Fortunately, I'm saying. Oh no. Well, it is. The unfortunate thing, it's flu season, everybody. It's flu season. So, can I just say, good luck. Good luck, everybody. Good luck with flu season. Because trust me, it is not a fun time. I got the flu last year, and it was hell on earth. It's hell on earth. Oh, you want Neko Ray? Oh shoot, that's gonna be a big change. Okay, I'll be right back. Where is it? Oh yeah, right here. Aha, maid mode is back. Holy, it's been a while. Maid mode is back. You guys remember maid mode? You know, maid mode. I got maid mode all the way over here. You guys remember maid mode? It's been a while. It's been one long while. They had a maid mode again after so long. After way too many customizable models, maid mode is finally back. That's so nice. So nice. Okay. Here you go. Hello. No, I wanna zoom in a little bit more. No, stop. There you go. There you go. You won't be able to see the tail, but you can see the ears. There you go. Might as well confuse the watchers why you're changing forms between videos. Ah, I see your end goal. I see your end goal. Very, very interesting, Chimeric Overlord. I'm gonna have to put, if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to put more channel redeems things later. After this video is over, we're gonna do that, okay? Okay. We're gonna start a new YouTube video, okay? Ready? 3 and 2 and 1 and action! Hello everybody, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are going to be watching another scary video called 6 Disturbing Unsolved Cases with Video Footage. Ooh. So let's get started.
On the 11th of May 2011, 6-year-old Timothy Pitson left his school in Aurora, Illinois with his mother, Amy. Amy had shown up at the school unexpectedly, telling the staff that there was a family emergency. Timothy's teachers were caught off guard as something seemed to be severely off with Amy, but they...
Huh? What? What's going on? Huh?
let Timothy go with his mother, figuring everything was going to be okay. These are some of the most disturbing unsolved cases with video footage.
What?
As they drove away from the school, Timothy was excited. He loved spending
hear
time
the
with his
audio?
mother, and they were heading out on what seemed like a special adventure. Amy took him to a zoo, then a water park. It felt like a mini...
Hold on. You can hear the video playing, right? For some reason, it keeps disconnecting. And like, I'm not able to hear it. Here, you know what? Let's start that all over again. That's some weirdo
holiday, and a chance...
That's some weirdo technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was some weirdo technical difficulties. Okay, ready. Even my mouse is acting all weird. Like, what's going on? It's not even moving right. How's that? Okay, that's better. Okay, ready? We're gonna have to do this again. 3, 2, 1, and action. Wait, not yet. Okay, and action. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are going to be watching 6 disturbing unsolved cases with video footage. Ooh. If you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe. We are currently live on Twitch as well at @double_. Now, let's get into the video. There you go.
On the 11th of May 2011, 6-year-old Timothy Pitson left his school in Aurora, Illinois with his mother, Amy. Amy had shown up at the school unexpectedly, telling the staff that there was a family emergency. Timothy's teachers were caught off guard as something seemed to be severely off with Amy, but they let Timothy go with his mother, figuring everything was going to be okay. These are some of the most disturbing unsolved cases with video footage. As they drove away from the school, Timothy was excited. He loved spending time with his mother, and they were heading out on what seemed like a special adventure. Amy took him to a zoo, then a water park. It felt like a mini holiday, and a chance to have some fun together, just the two of them. They checked into hotels along the way, and at each stop, Amy made sure they had fun. Still, to Timothy, it was probably just an exciting trip with his mum. But there were signs that things weren't as simple as they seemed. Amy wasn't just taking a break, she was avoiding contact with Timothy's dad and other family members. She would call them every now and again, always sounding upbeat, but she never let Timothy talk to anyone. She'd say, "He's fine, he's having fun," but never gave him the phone. When she called her husband, she told him not to worry and that they were fine, in a very cheerful tone. But still, the phone calls left the family uneasy. Why wouldn't she let Timothy speak? The two kept moving from place to place. They stayed in a couple different hotels, moving further and further away from home. Amy was seen on hotel...
Oh, is she like a criminal on the run and she just hasn't told anyone? Is that why? Or maybe she's plotting something. Uh-oh.
Security cameras, and people who saw them said that Timothy looked happy, completely unaware that anything was about to happen. At one point, Amy visited a hardware store where she bought a few items that didn't seem to...
Uh-oh. Not the hardware store. See, I've said this in the past before. If someone goes to the hardware store, every cashier or like employee or something should have a warning checklist, okay? A warning checklist that if this person is buying at least like 2 or 3 things on this list, then you should probably call the police or have that person detained, then call the police and have them for questioning, okay? Because it happens too often that people will buy like an entire list of things that you need to like get rid of a body, and they're like, nah, this person should be fine, it's fine. when in reality they're, you know, doing really bad stuff. So I don't know. That's just my thing.
To fit with a road trip, she purchased small things like a notebook and a pen, things that just felt out of place. Amy seemed to be stalling, like she was trying to gain time, though no one knew for what. The choices she made only added to the mystery. Every call to her family sounded upbeat, yet the details made them anxious. Why did she seem so cheerful but refuse to explain what she was doing or let Timothy talk? Amy also checked into a hotel without Timothy for one night, a strange move that raised even more questions. Why would she go to a hotel by herself when Timothy was still with her? And where did she leave the 6-year-old? These unexplained decisions kept building up, leaving her family more worried with each passing day. When Amy made her last call to her mother-in-law, she sounded calm. She told her that everything was going smoothly and she shouldn't worry about anything. But this time, her mother-in-law pressed her, asking directly to speak with Timothy. Though once again, Amy refused. This time, her excuse was simple. He's busy playing. Her voice was lighthearted, but there was something strange.
You can't use that excuse, oh, he's busy playing. Like, you could easily just bring the phone to his ear and be like, yeah, say hi to your grandma. And that's it. Nothing's gonna happen by telling your kid, being like, no, you cannot talk to him because he's playing. No, it will disturb him. You are not allowed to talk to him because of that reason. Nothing's gonna happen. Come on.
Strange about her tone, as if she was masking something deeper. On the 14th of May 2011, Amy checked into a motel in Rockford, Illinois. By then, she and Timothy had been on the road for 3 days. That evening, Amy was spotted on security cameras one last time and she entered her room alone. Timothy was nowhere to be seen. The next day, motel staff found Amy dead in her room as she had ended her own life. It was a devastating discovery, but the shock didn't end there. Next to Amy's body, police found a note she had written, a message that only deepened the mystery. In her handwriting, Amy explained that Timothy was safe, but added something haunting. You will never find him. But there was something else in the note that left Timothy's family and investigators terrified. Amy also wrote, Timothy is safe with people who will care for him. This message seemed to suggest that she had left Timothy with someone she trusted, someone who could take care of him. But who were these people? And did they even exist? The note left Timothy's family in disbelief. Amy had assured everyone that they were fine, but now she was...
Okay, so then that explains why she only had like a pen and like notebook. That's so sad. But I don't get it. I don't get it though. Like, if she unfortunately had these plans prepared already, why not just leave the child with like I don't know what was going on with the husband. But let's say hypothetically something was going on between her and the husband. Why not leave him with his grandma or something? I don't understand. Maybe we'll learn more.
Gone, and Timothy was nowhere to be found. As the police combed through her car, they discovered traces of blood on the seat. They immediately tested it, and it was confirmed to be Timothy's. This finding raised new fears and new questions, as everyone was wondering what had really happened to Timothy. Was he in danger, or had he somehow been left in a safe place as Amy claimed? Investigators were caught between two possibilities. Either Amy had hidden him somewhere to protect him, or something much darker had occurred. Right after Amy's death, police launched an extensive search for Timothy. They retraced every step of her journey, hoping to uncover any clue that might lead them to him. Authorities examined maps, reviewed Amy's GPS.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't trust the fact that she actually left him with anybody, because again, if these unfortunate plans were already in place and she truly cared about her child, she would have left him with either his father or at least like her family. But I don't know. And according to the name of the video, like Unsolved, I'm guessing we're never gonna know what happened to the boy.
GPS records and revisited every hotel and location she and Timothy had visited during those final days together. And they pored over surveillance footage, hoping to spot a moment, a clue, anything that could reveal where Amy had taken Timothy. As the search continued, investigators found more strange details. Amy's car showed signs that had been through dirt roads and grassy areas. It was clear that she had probably been in remote locations, likely far away from any city or town. But where exactly? Search teams combed through forests, parks, and even isolated areas that matched the clues left by the dirt and plants found on her car. Yet despite these massive efforts, Timothy was nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, the story of Timothy's disappearance began to spread across the country. News stations picked up the story, broadcasting pictures of Timothy with his bright smile and innocent eyes. His face appeared everywhere, on television, in newspapers, and on missing person posters. The public was captivated by the mystery, and as more details emerged about Amy's final days, people began forming their own theories. Timothy's father, Jim Pitson, became the face of the family's heartbreak and hope. Appearing on news interviews, he spoke openly about the pain.
See, there's the tricky thing that I was talking about. Since we don't know exactly like the full story, like maybe something was happening between the wife and the dad, and maybe that's why she brought the child with her. And maybe she didn't leave the child with like her like parents or someone, because she was worried that like he would end up finding the child. So it's really hard when you don't have like background context until you have everything, like the history of the family and stuff. It's kind of hard to make any assumptions
of losing Amy and the agony of not knowing where his son was, though he still believed, as Amy's note had said, that Timothy truly was safe somewhere. The general reaction to the case was mixed. Some people sympathized with Jim and clung on to the idea that Timothy was still alive, somewhere out there. They rallied for his return, joining search parties, volunteering, and spreading Timothy's story online. Others, however, began to question Amy's actions and whether her words in the note could be trusted. They speculated that her final message was meant to mislead, and some even believed that Timothy might never be found because he was no longer alive. Then, in 2019, 8 years after Timothy's disappearance, the case took a very unexpected twist. A young man appeared claiming to be Timothy Pitson, saying he had finally escaped his captors after years of being held against his will. For a brief moment, hope flooded back. Jim and his family were overwhelmed with emotion, believing that Timothy might be finally returning home. But that hope was crushed just as quickly as it appeared, as DNA tests revealed that the young man was not Timothy. He was in fact someone else entirely.
It is so cruel when people do this. Like if I have a child that has gone missing for many years, and like every single day I'm clinging on to hope that my child is still alive, only for some horrible person to like go and be like, oh yeah, I'm your son that like escaped the captors and I'm home now. Yeah, that's a horrible thing to do. It's a horrible thing to do.
Troubled person looking for a way out of their own life. Despite the disappointment, Timothy's case remains active. Law enforcement has refused to close it, and his family holds onto the hope that he's still out there. Timothy's disappearance has become one of America's most famous and confusing mysteries. Some still theorize that Amy may have had help, that maybe someone else was involved in Timothy's disappearance, which could help to explain the times that Amy was alone checking into the hotels. The idea is based partly on her note, where she mentioned Timothy being with people who would care for him, though to this day there's no evidence supporting this theory. But the idea that Timothy might still be out there, hidden with someone who knows the truth, keeps the mystery alive.
You can't give up hope. As soon as you give up hope, then
yeah, it's a really tricky situation, cause for one, why did this woman bring her child along knowing that she was going to do that? And I don't know, did like she leave him with strangers or something? It's something about the note that like lives. I feel like if she truly loved her son, she would say exactly like what happened. It's really strange that she would like mislead people. Like if you wanted people to know that your son was okay, then you would have been like, I left them with so and so people. he's safe, he's with good, he has a new good family now, and stuff like that. But I still find it very, very strange that her just note says he's safe, but you'll never find him. Like, that's really, really weird.
Then what should I do? What, declare him dead? He's probably in the middle of nowhere, being homeschooled someplace, you know, just away from the media and TVs and new technology.
It was still dark in Midlothian, Texas on the morning of the 18th of April 2016 for 45-year-old Terry Missy Bevers, a fitness instructor and mother of three.
Oh wait, I think
this was a
I've
normal
heard of this
time to
story
be
before.
up and ready. She was dedicated to her fitness classes, regularly teaching early morning sessions. She had a class scheduled at Creekside Church of Christ that day, and she was known for showing up early to set everything up. Around 4:20 a.m., Missy entered the church, her headlights briefly illuminating the parking lot before going dark. With her workout equipment and supplies in hand, she made her way inside, likely unaware of the danger that awaited her. What she didn't know was that someone had already broken in. Hours before Missy arrived, Creekside Church had been empty, but by 3:50 a.m., a figure had appeared inside, roaming the halls.
Yeah, from like what I remember, because I have heard about this case before. From I remember, I think it was the guy that was already in the building. And I could be wrong because, you know, my memory sucks, but I think this guy was like dressed up as like a security officer to make him look like, oh, he's just part of the staff, so there's no need to suspect him or anything. I think that's what this is. I could be wrong.
In a way that would later raise unsettling questions. Security cameras captured the footage of this person, someone whose actions seemed more bizarre than purposeful. The intruder was dressed head to toe in SWAT-style tactical gear, including a helmet, vest, and gloves, all of which concealed their identity. Obviously, this wasn't ordinary clothing, especially for someone committing a crime, and it was something that law enforcement would later struggle to explain, as they couldn't figure out if it was merely just a disguise or some sort of message. As the figure moved through the church, their actions were equally strange. Instead of heading directly to an office, a safe, or any obvious target, the person walked around, opening doors, checking rooms, and tapping on walls. Their pace was calm, almost wondering, as if they had all the time in the world, as it didn't seem like they were searching for anything specific. Instead, it felt as though they were just waiting. The security footage further showed this person pausing here and there, standing silently, before moving again. It was this slow, almost detached movement that would later haunt viewers. And in one of the stranger aspects caught on the camera was the fact that the figure seemed to even stagger slightly as they walked very clumsily, as it looks as if they could be unfamiliar with the layout of the church, or they're in some kind of daze. At around 4:20 a.m., just as Missy entered the church, the camera footage ended. To this day, it's unclear exactly how much time passed between Missy walking into the church and her encounter with the intruder, but what is known is that Missy was soon to be found dead. Her body...
Wait, but why was the camera cut? Like, I don't understand. Did this guy have an accomplice that was working on like the security cameras, or what do you mean that it was cut? Did like do security cameras have like certain time intervals where they record and they don't record? I don't know.
Discovered by her students who arrived for class a short time later. The scene that they would walk into was shocking. Missy had suffered multiple injuries that was believed to have been inflicted by a hammer that was left near her body. After her death, the investigators turned to Creekside Church's security cameras, hoping they held the clues that could identify Missy's killer. What detectives found is that the footage raised far more questions than it answered. Like, as the figure moved throughout the church, they would also periodically break certain objects and shatter glass, leading the police to believe that the person was trying to stage some sort of robbery gone wrong, though that theory would make little sense when you consider that the robber neglected to take Missy's purse or iPad. Also, why had they chosen a church of all places? And
could it be that maybe it was targeted? Because for one, if he was wearing like all that gear, and he probably, instead of coming like late into the night, he decided to come like early in the morning. Maybe it was somebody that she knew that was, and like they were waiting for her for that to happen. Cause yeah, if they didn't bother stealing anything, then they were there for like one reason and one reason only, right?
What was the motive? If this was a robbery, it was certainly an unusual one. After the discovery of Missy's body at Creekside Church, Midlothian police faced a daunting task. Because there was just so little to go off, the detectives involved started watching the footage over and over again to find the tiniest of details, which then made them notice the killer's strange gait or walking style, as they seemed to move with a slight clumsiness, as if they were wearing shoes too big or simply had a very distinct walk. Internet detectives then started comparing the walk to those around Missy, and if you line up the videos of the SWAT-geared intruder with those of her father, they do look eerily similar. That this evidence, if you can even call it that, is extremely weak and is a symptom of the case being so mysterious and confusing. The police themselves initially thought that the intruder could be female, as the walk looked as if the person was wearing clothes too big or too heavy, though again, this theory led nowhere. As detectives continued analyzing the footage, they turned to Missy's family, friends, and acquaintances, hoping to uncover any
yeah, maybe that's why they were wearing like so much like body stuff, because sure, like walking is one thing, but like this guy said, that it's very like small incriminating. It doesn't, it's really weak evidence. Like there could be millions of people in the world that like walk the exact same way, and that just means nothing. So then the next thing that the police would have to go on is like body shape. Like, is this person big? Is this person skinny? Do they have an hourglass figure? Do they have like whatever the body shape of the person is, or the who the skin color is, or the eye color, stuff like that. So probably, and I'm pretty sure body shape had a big thing to do it. So like if it was a woman, then obviously the body shape would be like a lot less like buff or thick as like a male, which is why like a bodysuit, or not a bodysuit, sorry, like a SWAT police thing would be like perfect, because it's kind of like in the neutral area, right? It would make a woman's body look a lot like more bulk, and like I don't know like what it would make. Like I don't know if it would also make a man's body look bulkier. I'm not exactly sure on that part, but yeah, unfortunately, like this guy said, walking a way that somebody walks is not a secure way how to prosecute someone, and the body shape cannot be counted for either because of the suit. That part's really tricky.
Motive or clue that could point them towards a suspect. They asked about Missy's relationships, any recent conflicts, and her schedule, searching for anything that might explain why someone would target her. Missy's husband, Brandon, her 3 children, and her close friends all cooperated fully, sharing information about Missy's life and any challenges she might have been facing. According to her loved ones, Missy was well liked, devoted to her family, and passionate about her work as a fitness instructor. However, some friends mentioned that Missy had recently expressed concern about strange social media message she had received. These messages on LinkedIn reportedly came from an unknown male and were described as creepy and strange. The police would track down this person of interest, though it would ultimately turn out to be a dead end. Detectives documented everything they had learned, yet no single piece of information pointed directly towards a clear suspect. To this day, Terry Missy Bever's case has gone completely unsolved. Alyssa Turney was a typical 17-year-old high school junior living in Phoenix, Arizona, with her father, Michael Turney, and half-sister Sarah. Like most teenagers, she had a part-time job, friends, and dreams for the future. But on the 17th of May 2001, everything changed. That was the day Alyssa vanished without a trace, and the mystery of her disappearance would leave her family and community searching for answers for years to come. It was the last day of school, and Alyssa was looking forward to summer summer break. She and her friends had made plans to celebrate, and it seemed like a typical start to what should have been a carefree summer. But what happened that afternoon has been clouded by strange details, some coming from her father Michael himself, who was the last person to ever see her. According to Michael, he picked up Alyssa from Paradise Valley High School around lunchtime. He claimed that they went out for a bite to eat at a local restaurant, and then, once they returned home, they had a heated argument. Michael would later tell the police that Alyssa stormed off, shouting that she was leaving and heading to California to live with her biological aunt. To back this story, Michael claimed he found a note from Alyssa in her room, saying basically exactly what she was saying in the argument, that she was running away. The note:
when you dropped me off at school today, I decided that I really am going to California. Sarah said you didn't want me around, and look, you got it, I'm gone. That's why I saved my money. Dad, I took $300 from you, Alyssa.
Written in Alyssa's handwriting didn't sit right with Alyssa's friends and family. For one, none of her belongings, like her phone or purse, were missing. If Alyssa truly intended to run away, why would she leave behind everything she'd need? And why didn't she tell any of her close friends about her plans? Initially, authorities treated Alyssa as a runaway.
Well, it's probably because, like, I mean, if I were to run away, for example, I wouldn't bring, the only thing that I would bring is like some money and maybe some clothes, or maybe not, like if I was in a hurry, like a big hurry to leave. Like I wouldn't bring my phone because like people could easily track me with like cell towers and stuff, so I wouldn't bring my phone. I wouldn't bring many clothes, not really knowing how long I would be gone and stuff. But still, can't really say much.
Believing that she might have truly gone to California or was still somewhere nearby in the Phoenix area. However, doubts started to arise when the $1,800 in her bank account was left completely untouched, and she failed to contact any of her friends and family. As police started to investigate further, they discovered something odd. Michael had been tracking Alyssa's movements in ways that went beyond what many see as protective. In fact, he seemed to have an unusual level of control over her life. At her job, Alyssa's co-workers noticed Michael would occasionally appear unannounced, sometimes with a video camera. In one instance, he secretly recorded his daughter's interactions with customers, co-workers, and friends, claiming it was to ensure her safety. But there was no clear reason why he would have to monitor her like this. These recordings weren't limited to her workplace either. Michael had even installed surveillance devices around their home, and one of the most disturbing—
See, like an even more reason why she would leave her phone at her house. If she knew that her dad had like multiple ways of tracking her, then what would be one of the best ways to do it? Tracking her phone. So like I said, if I were to run away, I wouldn't bring my phone because I wouldn't want to be tracked that way.
Details was the discovery of hidden recording devices in the family's living room. It's unknown how often Michael reviewed these recordings, but it was clear he had an intense need to keep tabs on Alyssa's actions and conversations. This kind of behavior extended into nearly every aspect of Alyssa's life. Michael kept strict control over her social life, reportedly screening her phone calls and limiting her time with friends. Alyssa's friends recalled that Michael seemed overly protective and suspicious, making her feel uncomfortable and trapped. They reported that Alyssa felt she couldn't do anything without her father knowing, and over time, she grew increasingly resentful of his intense surveillance. For any teenager, this level of control would have felt suffocating. Though it gets much more worrying. When the police were taking statements from those who knew Alyssa to try and find any leads revolving her disappearance, one of her close friends, her boyfriend, and her stepbrother all independently shared stories that they had heard from Alyssa, all involving Michael attempting to illegally and inappropriately touch his daughter. In one instance, Alyssa's stepbrother said that during a car ride, Michael scooted closer to Alyssa and then tried to touch her in ways that would certainly get him arrested if anyone had reported it. Speaking of which, Michael himself once called Child Protective Services to warn them that if Alyssa was to ever call them to accuse him of touching her strangely, that she's a liar. A very normal thing for a loving father to do. Then somehow—
Okay, yeah. please tell me they arrested this guy. Please tell me they arrested this guy. He has way too much. For one, very... I wouldn't... If that's true, an extremely overprotect... It goes far beyond just being overprotective now. This is some weird stalker stuff. That's disgusting. That's gross? Yeah.
The strangeness continues. Michael was fixated on a very particular incident involving Alyssa. He frequently brought up the claim that years prior, Alyssa had been assaulted by a teacher. Michael often told people he believed this incident deeply affected her, yet there was no concrete evidence of it ever happening. Interestingly, Michael's account of the incident would often shift, making it hard for investigators to verify. Alyssa's close friends noted that she had never mentioned this supposed assault, and many doubted it ever happened. Michael, however, used this story as a justification for his extreme protectiveness, insisting that he was simply trying to shield Alyssa from further harm. Then there was the matter of Alyssa's aunt. When the police followed up, they learned that Alyssa's aunt in California hadn't heard from her and wasn't expecting her to come. This detail obviously threw more doubt on Michael's story. If Alyssa had indeed intended to run away, why hadn't she contacted the aunt that she was supposedly going to stay with? To the police, Alyssa's disappearance started looking less like a runaway case and more like a mystery. But without clear evidence of any sort of crime taking place, the case stalled. One of the most unsettling details about Alyssa's case is that her disappearance was marked by a quiet inaction from Michael himself. Normally, parents of missing children are frantic, calling every friend and visiting every place they can think of to find their child. But Michael didn't seem to...
That's something that it's same with like not security footage, like the footage in like an interrogation room and stuff. And not even that, but it's like common sense. If you truly love your child, then you're obviously going to be like 110% desperate and being like, where is my child? I need to know where my child is. I need my child to be safe and stuff. And they're frantic and they're asking for updates like every 5 seconds and stuff. But unless you're like this other, the other parents that have something to hide, and they're like, oh yeah, so like, they probably don't even ask the police about where their child is. So that's another really, really tricky thing. Where's the mom, by the way? Is that who Sarah is, the mom?
To do any of that. Instead, he waited 5 days after Alyssa vanished to report her missing. For many, this delayed response obviously raised suspicion. When asked why he waited, Michael claimed that he thought Alyssa would return home once she had cooled off, insisting that she was just a rebellious teen who had run away in the heat of the moment. After years of frustration, doubt, and silence, one voice would rise above the uncertainty surrounding Alyssa Turney's disappearance. Her younger sister, Sarah. Driven by a desire to know what really happened, Sarah Turney became the leading force behind Alyssa's case, refusing to let her sister's story fade. For years, she struggled to understand what had happened and to reconcile the loss of her sister with the vague and suspicious stories told by her stepdad, Michael. As Sarah grew older, her curiosity deepened. She began questioning the details surrounding Alyssa's disappearance and eventually recognized the inconsistencies in the story that Michael had shared with her over the years. While police had long classified Alyssa's case as a runaway situation, Sarah began to...
Yeah, that is the tricky thing. When the victim themselves actually leave a note being like, hey, I'm running away and I'm going to California or wherever, then it clearly looks like a runaway case, especially if the writing isn't forged. So either there's two things that could happen. One, she really was on her way to California, and maybe she didn't even plan on telling her aunt that she was going. Maybe it was like a last minute decision or something like that. And and unfortunately someone must have like grabbed her like between like during her way there, or I don't know, maybe something like after the argument that she had, the dad like caught up to her and then he did something horrible to her. So there's like two different things that could have happened, but it's really hard to turn from a runaway into a missing persons, because you need like very, very strong proof that it's like I would say maybe like a confirmation of like the aunt saying like, oh yeah, she did call me and we planned on meeting up at so and so place in like say 5 days. That was our plan. And since she never showed up, or like it said earlier, like the money in her bank account hadn't been touched. So I feel like that's enough evidence to turn it from a runaway into a missing person case. So I don't know why it hasn't been changed yet.
Suspect that it was something far more sinister. At first, Sarah tried addressing her concerns within her family. She asked Michael directly about what had happened and pushed for answers. Michael insisted that Alyssa had simply left, that she had run away and wanted nothing to do with them anymore. Yet Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to the story, and that her stepdad might be hiding something crucial. Sarah also reached out to law enforcement, hoping they could reopen the case, but with no new evidence, and Alyssa's status officially labeled as a runaway, the police weren't able to provide much assistance.
But there's so much evidence saying that it's not a runaway. Like first it's the aunt saying that no, she was never in contact with her and never had any like official plans of having her there, like the Alyssa girl. And second, the fact that like no money has been touched like since she went missing. So, and obviously you're going to need lots of money if you're going to be traveling somewhere far away. So no, that's, to me, that's enough proof to change it from a runaway into a missing person.
Despite these roadblocks, Sarah continued her quest, refusing to accept that her sister's case would remain unsolved. Frustrated by the lack of progress, Sarah took matters into her own hands and turned to social media. She started sharing Alyssa's story online, using every platform available to spread awareness and gain support. Over time, her posts began to capture attention and Sarah's online presence grew. But it wasn't until she joined TikTok that her fight for justice truly gained momentum. On TikTok, Sarah adopted a very direct and honest approach. She very openly talked about her suspicions of Michael, as well as her struggle to keep the case alive. Sarah wasn't afraid in the slightest to speak out against her own stepdad, publicly declaring that she believed he was responsible for Alyssa's disappearance. Her boldness was both risky and shocking, but it was effective on TikTok as viewers admired her courage to speak out, even when it meant accusing.
I mean, yeah, it's really good that she's doing this, because not only does it bring awareness to like a lot of people, but it's also like it's also a kind of thing of like she's spreading so much like shade towards her stepdad. So it would be kind of like if something were to happen to me, blame my stepdad or something. And so if something unfortunately did happen to her, which I really hope nothing happens, then there would be lots of proof there. And of course, putting stuff online is really helpful to find some help for finding the sister.
A family member. After years of uncertainty and years of advocacy from Sarah, the investigation into Alyssa's disappearance took a significant turn. In August 2020, nearly 2 decades after Alyssa was last seen, police arrested her stepfather, Michael Turney, charging him with second-degree murder. Investigators pieced together patterns of Michael's controlling behavior, leading to the decision to formally reopen the case and charge him. The second-degree murder charge against Michael Turney indicated that the authorities believed he had killed Alyssa without premeditation. However, the lack of any direct physical evidence linking Michael to Alyssa's disappearance posed a significant challenge for the...
That's something that I'm thinking, because like the prosecution needs to have something to like 100% say, yes, this person killed her. But like I highly doubt they found her body, so they have like no way of knowing like how she died, what happened before she died, and this kind of stuff. So while I'm glad that he got arrested, and it's still really tricky on how they're gonna like show the evidence as to yes, this guy is 100% guilty, because again, they don't even have her body, so how are they supposed to know? Not saying that like this guy is 100% innocent. He deserves to go to jail no matter what. he deserves 100% jail time. But it's still going to be really, really tricky for the prosecution.
Despite these hurdles, Sarah and her supporters remained hopeful that the circumstantial evidence and Michael's own actions would lead to a conviction. In July 2023, Michael Turney's trial commenced. After 6 days of testimony, the defense filed a motion for an acquittal, arguing that the prosecution had not presented substantial evidence to support a conviction. The judge agreed, citing the absence of physical evidence proving Alyssa's death or Michael's involvement, and acquitted Michael of all charges. He was released from custody on July 18th, 2023. Following his release, Michael Turney took legal action.
Then why not arrest him for the inappropriate things he was doing to her? Like, yeah, sure, there wasn't any evidence of him like actually killing her, but you know, there has to be, there's like multiple people saying that, yeah, he was being really, really creepy towards her. And what, she was 17 when she disappeared, so like who knows how long that was happened. Either way, she was still a minor, so at least arrest him for that. No, this guy deserves jail. This guy deserves jail no matter what.
Against local officials. In January of 2024, he filed a lawsuit against the Phoenix Police Department, as Michael alleged he was mistreated during his time in custody, claiming he was denied adequate health care and meals, and asserted he was wrongfully imprisoned. As of today, the case of Alyssa Turney.
This guy can't be, oh, I was falsely imprisoned, when there's literally like so much suspicion onto you. And no, this guy deserves to be in jail. The fact that he isn't in jail is like baffling to me.
Has gone completely cold.
If Alyssa's out there, any message for her?
Same message I've always tried to give it.
Okay, that is the response of a guilty person. If this was a concerned father, like being asked this question, being a concerned father, be like, please come home, we miss you, we're so worried, all we want is for you to come back and be with us and stuff like that, and show like actual concern. But look at the deadpan look in his eyes, and look at that like evil smirk. No, this guy definitely did something. I do not believe this guy for a second, and I am still so upset that he's not in jail.
Which is?
I love her.
You want her to come home?
Obviously so.
Obviously. Those short answers. Oh, you want it? The reporter is showing more empathy for her wanting to come back. He's like, you don't want to say these words? You don't want to say that you want her to come home? But no, he's like, obviously so. Oh, I love her. And stuff like, what? You don't have more words to show like how concerned you are about your daughter possibly being dead? Like, no, this guy is totally sus. He deserves to be in jail, at least for under suspicion. Under suspicion, because there is like way too much evidence about this guy being guilty. This next one is found on an adult website. Oh, yikes.
The holiday of a lifetime, a Caribbean cruise, warm beaches, and the endless blue of the open sea. Amy Lynn Bradley, a 23-year-old recent college graduate from Virginia, was thrilled about the trip. Traveling with her family, she boarded the Royal Caribbean cruise ship Rhapsody of the Seas on March 21st, 1998. Amy was excited, but also a little bit nervous. Friends and family said she wasn't exactly the cruise type. Amy was athletic, outgoing, and independent, but she had a fear of open water, which made the cruise ship a bit of a leap outside her comfort zone. The night of March 23rd should have been just like any other night on the cruise ship. The family enjoyed dinner, and Amy later went to a nightclub on the ship with her brother Brad. The siblings had a fun night, dancing and chatting with the other passengers, and in a video taken that night, Amy looked happy and carefree. Around 3:30 a.m., Brad left the club to go to bed, and Amy told him she'd be right behind him. This was the last confirmed sighting of Amy by her family. Early next morning, things took a shocking turn. Around 5:30 a.m., Amy's father, Ron Bradley, woke up in their shared cabin. He noticed that Amy wasn't in her bed, which immediately set off the alarms in his head. It was strange for Amy to be up that early, especially since they'd been out late the night before. Ron initially assumed she might have gone up to the deck to watch the sunrise, and he figured she'd be back soon. But as the minutes passed and Amy didn't return, Ron's concern grew. He searched around the ship looking for any sign of his daughter as he checked the common areas, the decks, and even went to the ship's dining area, but there was no trace of Amy. Feeling increasingly desperate, he woke up the rest of the family. They searched for her together, hoping to find her asleep somewhere else or chatting with a friend, but Amy was nowhere to be found. By 6 a.m., the family reported Amy's disappearance to the ship's crew. At first, the crew didn't seem as worried as the Bradleys were. They suggested that maybe Amy had gone for a swim, fallen asleep somewhere, or even gone ashore on her own during an early port stop. However, Amy's family knew she wouldn't have just wandered off without telling them. They insisted that something was wrong and pushed for a more thorough search of the ship. The search of the Rhapsody of the Seas was extensive, but it wasn't fast. Crew members scanned every deck, every room, every public area for any sign of Amy. Still, nothing turned up. By midday, the captain made an official announcement alerting all passengers to Amy's disappearance and asking for any information. But despite everyone's efforts, it was as if she had just vanished into thin air. Amy's family then tried to convince the captain to stop the boat until Amy had been found, as if the worst case scenario had happened and she had been kidnapped. She could then be smuggled off the ship when they'd eventually reached the port. The captain ignored their pleas and continued to drive the boat, allowing everyone off the ship. For the Bradley family, the idea that Amy might have gone overboard was unbearable. She was a strong swimmer and wouldn't have been careless around the water. Plus, Amy had left behind her shoes and her identification in her cabin, which raised even more questions. Could she have met someone who persuaded her to leave her cabin, or had she encountered someone with darker intentions? Well, Amy's family, desperate for answers, recalled several strange interactions she had with crew members during the trip. A few days before she vanished, Amy mentioned feeling uncomfortable around some of the crew. According to her family, she felt watched. One particular crew member had approached her several times, showing an unusual amount of interest in her. He reportedly invited her to go dancing at the club off the ship, which she turned down. Then, her family noticed something very worrying. On board the ship, there was an area where photos of passengers were displayed, pictures taken by the ship's photographers, available for families to view and buy. But something was wrong. All the photos featuring Amy had vanished. Her family couldn't help but wonder, had someone intentionally removed her pictures? If so, who would do such a thing and why? And as time passed, some people have claimed to have seen Amy, fueling the theories that she might still be alive. Several witnesses came forward saying that they had seen a woman matching Amy's description in the Caribbean. These sightings included accounts from a sailor and tourists who saw a woman resembling Amy with men who seemed to control her. In one case, a Canadian tourist reported seeing a woman in a brothel in Barbados. The woman allegedly begged for help, saying she was in fact Amy and was not allowed to leave. These sightings gave Amy's family hope, but all of them led to dead ends when followed up by authorities. No concrete evidence was found, and the woman in the sighting...
Like I said, I hate people like this. I hate people like this that like claim to be the missing person. The family are like so happy because they think they finally found their child, only for it to be like some scummy person to only be saying this because they like want money or something. Like, just do the DNA test right away and stop giving the family like fake hope.
Was never confirmed to be Amy. The descriptions were often vague, and some sightings happened in chaotic settings. Still, for the Bradleys, each new sighting brought a glimmer of hope, which is also connected to perhaps the most disturbing theory of all, being that Amy had been abducted and sold into human trafficking. The idea was bolstered years later when a chilling piece of evidence emerged as a photo of a woman resembling Amy was found on an adult website. The woman in the photo had a similar tattoo to Amy, and her appearance is undeniably similar considering that she would be several years older. Amy's parents saw the photo and were convinced it was her. They believed the image was proof that Amy was alive, trapped in a terrifying situation from which she couldn't escape. Investigators found evidence of human trafficking rings operating within the Caribbean, and a young woman like Amy, traveling alone at night on the ship, could have been a target. Her family began to suspect that if someone had lured her, they might have forced her off the ship in one of the island ports and into a dark underground network. Either way, until this day, Amy Lynn Bradley is still missing 26 years later. Kenny Veach was no ordinary hiker. Kenny was the kind of person who thrived on adventure. He had been...
Is this case in particular as to why the fact that people go like walking inside like deep caves? Oh, it just gives me like the. I know. I don't have claustrophobia myself. It's just like, oh my god, the idea of just going into a deep cave. What you're just like walking in deeper and deeper and deeper, and then sooner or later you have no idea where you are. You're alone and it's dark. You turn around and you can't find the way out. It's just like, oh my god, it just drives me insane.
Hiking for years, tackling some of the hardest trails in the southwest United States. Friends described him as fearless and intensely curious, which perhaps is what eventually led to his unfortunate end. He documented one of his hikes on YouTube, where he'd gained a small viewer base and talked about some of his findings in the endless stretches of the Mojave Desert. There were abandoned mines, strange caves, and even government training grounds all around the place. Kenny's viewers became captivated by his discoveries, eagerly awaiting another upload, and for Kenny, their excitement seemed to fuel his own. Despite the dangers, Kenny found a sense of freedom in these remote places, but he also knew the risks. A simple slip on a rock, a broken bone, or getting lost without cell reception could mean life or death. Yet Kenny believed the rewards were worth the risk. Kenny once shared that he had a habit of exploring alone, even when people warned him against it. Hiking alone in a desert like the Mojave was not something that most would consider, but Kenny saw it differently. He believed that hiking alone sharpened his senses and it forced him to be more aware of his surroundings. Without the distractions of company, he could listen to the desert and focus on the details he might otherwise overlook. His viewers, and also he probably knew, that each time he went out there alone, he was taking a chance. But it was a chance he seemed willing to take again and again. But there was one discovery that would change everything. It wasn't just another rocky canyon or long abandoned mine. It was something different.
And I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday. So hopefully I'll find it.
Maybe that shaky feeling that your body was your gut feeling, being like your body being like, don't go in there, something bad's gonna be in there, you're probably not gonna make it out of there. Always listen to your gut. I'm sorry, but your gut is another way your sixth sense. Listen to your sixth sense. It is 99% of the time it is correct.
Shaped like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M, and it's about as tall as I am and kind of narrow, and it's stuck on the side of a mountain. So I hope I can find it again.
His viewers began to speculate about what might have caused such a strange reaction. Some thought it was natural, maybe an odd geological feature, or maybe a minor earthquake. And obviously others immediately believed there was something more mysterious at play, like secret military experiments or something supernatural. Kenny read through all the comments, and it was clear that the mystery of the M-shaped cave had captured the minds of many. People were sending him messages, pushing him to return to the desert and explore the cave. It wasn't like him just to back down from a challenge, and the encouragement from his viewers made it harder for him to ignore the mystery. But he was also cautious. He knew that returning to such a remote location was risky, especially with the strange sensation he had felt. Was it really worth the danger? Despite the fear of the unknown, Kenny decided he couldn't let this mystery go. He wanted answers just as much as his audience did, maybe even more. And soon, he announced his plans to go back, determined to find out once and for all what was inside that cave. Kenny prepared carefully for this trip, aware of the dangers that awaited him in the desert. Even for an experienced hiker like him, the Mojave held countless risks. This wasn't just a quick day hike. The remote location of the cave meant that he'd have to navigate miles of rugged terrain with limited supplies and no phone reception. In case anything went wrong, Kenny let his girlfriend and a few close friends know where he'd be heading. This way they'd have an idea of his location if he didn't come back. Then, days passed, and no one heard from Kenny. At first, his friends and family assumed he was still exploring, caught up in the thrill of adventure. But as more time went by, their worry grew. Kenny's girlfriend reported him missing, and a search operation was launched as teams of rescue workers scoured the Mojave Desert, covering every trail and checking every canyon. They looked for signs of his presence, hoping to find any clue about where he might have gone. During the search, they discovered Kenny's phone lying on the ground near an abandoned mine shaft. This was miles from any marked trail and deep within the desert. The phone had no interesting messages, no final recordings, no indication of what might have happened to him. It was as if he had left it on purpose or had dropped it by accident before going further into the wilderness. I mean, why would he leave it behind? Despite extensive search efforts, no other trace of Kenny was ever found. The team searched for weeks, covering the surrounding area and examining any possible routes he might have taken. But the desert is vast, and its rocky, uneven terrain makes it difficult to find someone, especially in the remote areas where Kenny was known to explore. With no further evidence and no sign of Kenny, the search was eventually called off, leaving his friends, family, and YouTube viewers with more questions than answers. The M-shaped cave quickly became the focal point of every theory as to what might have happened, as the cave itself was never located either. People have found caves that could be the M-shaped one, but nothing solid, and no one has ever experienced the same intense vibrations Kenny did. The mystery surrounding Kenny has built up a sort of community of amateur investigators and internet detectives. One of their many theories involves Kenny's sister Debbie Veach. Now, Debbie runs a little Reiki studio and shop, and in 2018 it was burgled. A man, unidentified, broke in through a glass window with a crowbar, stealing an iPad and other small items. Many people who like investigating the mystery of Kenny are absolutely convinced that this was him based off of the security footage. Debbie has never even implied it's Kenny, but still, people are clearly desperate to find out what happened to him. To this day, Kenny's case remains unsolved.
For sure.
Relisha Rudd was only 8 years old when she disappeared from Washington, D.C., leaving a trail of unanswered questions and unsettling mysteries behind. Born on October 29, 2005, Relisha lived a far from easy life. Relisha's family struggled financially, and she spent most of her early years moving between unstable housing situations. Relisha and her family eventually found a place to stay at a shelter known as the General Family Shelter. While it provided a roof over their heads, it was a difficult environment for any child. The shelter housed hundreds of families and individuals experiencing homelessness, and the facility was crowded and sometimes chaotic. For Relisha, the shelter was both her home and her playground, though it was far from the safe, nurturing environment that every child deserves. Despite these hardships, Relisha's teachers and people who knew her described her as friendly and full of curiosity. They noted how she loved school and seemed to be happy there, finding some sense of stability and normalcy in the classroom. Her teacher noticed, though, that her attendance was irregular. Days turned into weeks, and when Relisha stopped coming to school altogether, people started to worry. At first, no one knew what to think. Relisha's absence was unusual, but not completely shocking. Living in the shelter meant that her life was unpredictable, and unfortunately, it wasn't uncommon for children in similar situations to miss days of school. School officials made phone calls and reached out to her family when her mother, Shamika Young, was contacted. She claimed that Relisha was in the care of a doctor and was being treated for a health issue. She even provided the name of the doctor, Dr. Tatum. Relieved, the school trusted Shamika's explanation and didn't press her any further. They had no reason to doubt her words, but this decision would soon reveal its terrifying consequences. It was the 1st of March 2014 when the authorities were finally contacted. School officials decided to look into Relisha's absence once more and discovered something that made them uneasy. The Dr. Tatum that Relisha's mother had referred to wasn't a doctor at all. He was Khalil Tatum, a janitor at the shelter where Relisha's family lived. The unexpected twist raised alarm bells for everyone involved. Though Khalil wasn't just a stranger to Relish's family, he was someone who had developed a close, almost unsettling relationship with her. Shelter staff and other families noticed how Tatum spent time with Relisha, buying her gifts, taking her on outings, and providing her with things that perhaps her family couldn't afford. People close to the family obviously saw these gestures as unusual, but no one could have guessed what would come next. Tatum had an extensive criminal history that included burglary and larceny. He was hired despite—
Come on, the mother can't be this neglectful. Like, I guess I can see why she would probably think that, like, oh, maybe, you know, he works at the home, he's the doctor, and like my daughter loves going to the school, I can trust him. But you can't put that much trust into a stranger. You could trust someone as much as you can, and like I still wouldn't leave that my child with that person. No. If my child is going to go to another adult, I have to be there as well to know how my child is doing. I'm sorry, but my trust issues are insane. If my kid is going somewhere, I'm going there too.
concerns raised by some about the shelter's lack of proper background checks. The shelter's staffing shortage and high demand for support made it difficult to screen employees thoroughly. Tatum's role brought him into frequent contact with Relisha and her family, and he gradually became a trusted figure in their lives. Relisha's mother, Shamika, accepted these gestures, even allowing Relisha to spend unsupervised time with him. Once police began investigating, they uncovered disturbing details about Tatum's behavior. Surveillance footage later revealed that Tatum had taken Relisha to a Holiday Inn Express in Northeast Washington on March 1st, making it the last known sighting of the young girl. Tatum's actions following that day became even more suspicious. He was spotted purchasing a shovel, lime, a chemical that can be used to stop the smell of a rotting corpse.
See, come on, that's just enough. That's just the checklist. That's a murderer's guide to hiding a body, buying everything that the guy just listed there. This is why places need to have this list memorized. So if a certain person buys these things, catch them and call the police.
As well as large trash bags, items that suggested he might have intended to cover up a crime. Then, something very unexpected happened. As the investigation intensified, authorities discovered that Khalil Tatum's wife, Andrea, was found dead in a hotel room from a gunshot wound. This development only deepened the urgency of the search for Relisha, and it became clear that Dr. Tatum was even more dangerous than the police thought. Law enforcement began a nationwide search for Tatum. Meanwhile, the behavior of Relisha's mother, Shamika, was starting to make less and less sense. When the school first notified Shamika that Relisha wasn't attending anymore, Shamika did not immediately notify the police or the shelter staff, a delay that severely impacted the investigation. And Shamika's general response was slow and at times evasive. When asked by the police and child welfare authorities about her daughter's last known whereabouts, she provided limited information, and her answers often lacked urgency. It could be possible that Shamika might have feared getting into trouble herself, as she was aware of Tatum's involvement with her daughter and the potential legal implications of neglect. Authorities investigating the case became increasingly frustrated.
Okay, look, I can see why she would be afraid of her probably getting charged with child neglect. I don't accept it, but I can understand, but that doesn't make things right. Like me personally, I would rather get arrested for child neglect than know that my child is most likely in serious danger with a very dangerous person.
With Shamika's lack of cooperation. Although she eventually acknowledged that Tatum had been taking care of Relisha, she continued to give inconsistent statements about why she allowed her daughter to spend so much time with him. Her explanations were often contradictory, shifting between trusting Tatum as a caring figure and being unaware of the danger her daughter faced. Shamika's behavior either suggested a stupidly high level of trust in a stranger or a complete failure to recognize the risks associated with allowing her daughter to be in Tatum's care, and on April 1st, 2014, likely the worst case scenario had happened. Khalil Tatum was found to have taken his own life in a shed in Kenilworth Park, which was an area that had already been searched for Relisha. Tatum was the last person seen with Relisha, so when he died, he took many of the answers with him. His death left police scrambling for leads, but despite searches and tips, now they weren't even certain if Relisha was alive, alone, or had been given to someone else. Purely speculating, I think it's possible that Tatum may have had a less than legal relationship with Relisha and may have been exploiting her with Shamika's permission. Perhaps Tatum's wife Andrea found out, and that was the motive.
I would feel like so guilty as this girl's mother, but at the same time, why on earth would you put so, like, maybe say I give her the benefit of the doubt and she didn't know about this guy's like criminal record, but still, why would you still put so much trust into a stranger? Like, okay, yeah, maybe he's not a stranger because he worked in the little like schoolhouse thing that the daughter was also in, but still, that does not give you logical rights to leave your child with a dangerous person. Like, I don't want to blame the mother, I really don't, but at the same time, like, how could you not?
Behind her unfortunate death, though the true motive behind Relisha Rudd's disappearance will likely never be known. And that concludes today's video. If you want more disturbing content, you can check.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that last one. Like, I still desperately think, like, why? Like, if I were a parent, I would never in my entire life, no matter how well I know the person, unless I'm there with them, I would not leave my child with another adult. No, I have to be there. And if I'm not, sorry, you're not going. Sorry, I just do not have enough trust in society to like let my child go with another adult without me there. But oh my gosh, that has been a complete 1 hour. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here for today. I'm getting tired. It's surprisingly still early. It's like 9:35, but I think like watching a long form video just makes me like really tired. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here for today. I'll try and come back tomorrow and we'll probably do some exciting stuff. Maybe tomorrow is when we start our Adventure Time watch thing. I thought about it and I don't think I want to. I want to post I don't want to post it on YouTube because I just don't want to risk copyright. So that's what we're going to do, okay? Tomorrow we are most likely going to be starting our Adventure Time watch along. So I will be sure to look for a what do you call it? A website where we could find it. But until then, thank you very much for coming, everybody. It was so nice seeing you again. It was also nice using the maid model after a while. We haven't used this model in a while. Sorry, I burped. But again, thank you so much for coming, everybody. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye.